in strong support of House Concurrent Resolution 212, which commemorates the 20th anniversary of the historic events that took place in Central and Eastern Europe, particularly the Velvet Revolution in Czechoslovakia, and also reaffirms the bonds of friendship, the bonds of cooperation between the United States and the Slovak and Czech republics. I'd like to thank my friend, my Florida colleague, and my fellow ranking member, Mr. Micah, for introducing this important and timely resolution. Mr. Speaker, in 1989, the world witnessed momentous events in which the people of Eastern and Central Europe broke the chains of their communist oppressors. Among the many important events that took place, the trade union Solidarity won its historic election victory in Poland. 2 million people living in Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia linked hands to form a human chain almost 400 miles long in a peaceful protest against Soviet rule, and the Berlin Wall fell. A prominent place among the events of 1989 is held by the so-called Velvet Revolution, which rose spontaneously from protests in Czechoslovakia that led directly to free and democratic elections in that country. That revolution in what was then Czechoslovakia began on November 17, 1989, as a peaceful student demonstration to commemorate the murder of Czech students by the occupying Nazi forces 50 years earlier. But riot police severely beat many of these peaceful protesters. Yet the demonstrations grew, and they continued, eventually leading to the abolishment of the communist hold on power, the election of Václav Havel, a dissident critic of the communist regime, to the presidency of Czechoslovakia. After their subsequent peaceful decision to become independent states, the Czech Republic and the Slovak Republic have flourished, establishing free and democratic societies and becoming members of the NATO alliance and the European Union. As a political refugee from Cuba's communist regime, Mr. Speaker, I view the events that took place in Europe in 1989 as a source of tremendous inspiration. They truly provided me with the hope that the freedoms now enjoyed in Central and Eastern Europe will soon reach the oppressed people of Cuba, where a brutal communist dictatorship still rules, as its fellow communists did in Eastern Europe until they were overthrown by their oppressed people. The Cuban communist regime engages in gross violations of human rights and fundamental freedoms, detains, tortures, and disappears anyone who disagrees or dares to challenge the regime, engages in corrupt activities that enrich its leaders, conducts espionage against the United States and its citizens, and engages in activities that threaten U.S. security interests and global peace and stability. Still, we can and we must hope that the events of 1989 show us what the future could hold for Cuba, and hopefully soon. I would like to again thank my good friend and colleague, Congressman Micah, for introducing this important and so timely resolution. I strongly support its passage, and I urge my colleagues to do the same. With that, Mr. Speaker, I would like to reserve the balance of my